Welcome to our lovely future humans, to a late IHP show where we're going to chit chat a bit about love and life and how it is completely different for the 5D collective. Those who are empowered, if you tune into some of the episodes, you will know that it is, excuse me, love is not a game. That's because we don't play mouse and cat and whatnot. Unless you're dehumanizing people or you're on a fantasy role, which is where the emotionally immature people who to this day have revealed to me they're deciding. So in the meantime, I decided by the time I was a kid that I said yes, Jesus, God, Holy Spirit, I do commit to loving all equally. And no, it wasn't about monoamory, polyamory. No, they did explain that through parts, and health and all that good stuff. And I did know about the cheating stuff because my boyfriend, the first serious relationship, it was complete cheating. But we talked about it. Things happened. There were things that didn't match up. I'm not jealous. He needed me to be jealous to prove to him that I loved him. I said, that's an insecure emotion. I'm not insecure. There's only one of me. I'm irreplaceable, as you know. I even have a twin. So no, I'm not going to be jealous. If this is something you need, this is not going to come forth because I don't have it. I have a story for that one too, but I'm not going to share it with you all. Anyways, it's part of my oversoul. But the long story short is that we don't think of people who want to stay monogamous or monoamorous as more lovers than the polyamory community. And I don't think of the polyamory community as more lovers, pilly enough than the monoamory. No, I actually don't think society has to have a competition at all because it's a subjective personal experience that when you meet smart human beings or securely attached, this is not an issue. This is not an issue because there's conversations. Even when we're afraid to lose each other, there's conversations. You see, so empowered people don't treat love like a game because it's not a game. And we also don't look to somebody who tells us 10 ways to watch our fucking back because that's an insecure person's game. I'm wondering why they don't go to therapy to get a better gut. Your good radar will not be afraid. I'm not afraid of choosing to frequent and invest my time very seriously, obviously. No, it doesn't mean boring, not at all. It means that I'm serious because I know what I'm doing. You see? So I grew up to 45. I'm Maria 45.0 version. Just FYI, you need to sit down for this. They're not used to it. Obviously, if you're going to stick around, I'm sure you're like, finally, somebody who's talking me sense about love. Tell me about it. So when I was a teenager, besides a teenage boyfriend who would always hear my thoughts, I asked a bunch of other people why they didn't know how to tell me the truth in my face. They all had excuses, and in which they involved jealousy and other people from the outside being jealous of couples. And I was like, what? Why would they be jealous of you? Well, because you know how girls are. How are they? I'm a girl. No, not you. You know how boys are. I don't understand. So as you grow up and then you find out from smart scientists what emotionally immature people are, you say, okay, that makes a lot more sense than I was just wondering how I'm growing older and some people are staying their teenage version. Now that I know that they're going to stick to their choices, I understand why, because, that's something separate. So, meantime, commitment, what is it? Well, you commit to your life by being physically fit with your body connected. That's important. Otherwise, you're not going to be fit because you don't know how to do eustress. Dr. Amy Apigan explains why this is not something simple. So, even after years of therapy, a body will continue to be used to what? No. See, I don't know what it's like to have distress. I know eustress, even though people think I don't. So when you know interoception, the body, the mind, the brain, the heart, all of it is one, and you know how to see it in the eyes of people who know it, and then you see in the eyes of people who don't know differentiation of self. No energy vampires. I understand what you just described to me. This is called that your body didn't learn to securely attach, or your embodied brain. So your 1-year-old is actually needing. Good. You're going to therapy. Great. Once you're done, then come back around. I'll explain to you what I just explained to you now, and we'll chit chat. That's how I left it off with a lovely woman who was continuing to have a bad ding, ding, ding. So she took her own advice, not mine. And that's why I said, okay, great. The therapist is going to help you own the sense of self, get out of disturbed self-organization, learn to continuously be more secure, and eventually, if you choose to stop calling brothers and sisters energy vampires, you will. If instead you choose you want a group to cry about and cry with, and you say, we're empaths, they're narcissists, nobody, and that's why people who are teenagers are uninteresting, because they have a good group and a bad group, and then they label their brothers and sisters names, and I say, everyone deserves love, right? I promised Jesus that I would forgive, and the Holy Spirit that I would stay open-hearted. And God told me that I'm not made like any of my other brothers and sisters, nor are you, but that we're made perfectly, and we're not God. We're not it. It's not that the people who are continuing to say that we're it actually are it, because if they had been it, then they would love all equally and let you know, like I know, that science has it all figured out, how to get the kingdom of God within you. It's called restorative embodiment, and there's a little fly who's buzzing around. And so when someone's buzzing around in your space, does that mean that I need to be superstitious and think that there's some negative energy around me? That's what's always made me laugh about the mystic spiritual community who disconnect from the teachings of good Christian Catholic upbringing here. I didn't disconnect. I'm like, there's no monsters. There's Gargamel in a corner. There's a bunch of energy over there. Nope. Shoot, go away. That's all I have to do. Anything tries to come, I can use I'm using my imagination right now. No, I actually, but I can't. I'm an intuitive. Do you want to know when I did my LBLT, how amazing that was? I saw myself. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. This was like the most. So have you heard of the element of space? Okay. If you have, then you know. It's the cosmos. That's why I'm grounded in reality, because really, if Maria got lost in this whole cosmos, I would not be able to relate to my brothers and sisters. That would be a pity, because I want to cherish my life as Maria, since I have so many names, but I do know my original name, my spiritual name. I'm not going to tell it to you right now. So anyways, it's fun. I think I told it to you all already, so if you're a regular, you will have heard it. But the name, I'm still needing to research a little bit on why they would want us to ask our original name and all that other stuff. But it did make sense with what my name is now as well. Okay, so we cherish each other for the differences that we bring to each other. And whether you're mystic, spiritual, or mindful, meaning secular, it doesn't change, because that's why we can work it out. And that's where the teenage boyfriend, we worked it out to stay friends eventually, thanks to me, not immature, ignorant people who, when I told them, then you guess what they did? They looked away from me. I was about to say hello, and they looked away from me. What? You want to stay friends with them? You still trust them after everything they did? Yes, they're my friends. What are you talking about? We hung out. We had a good time. I don't understand. You don't want to drag her down the hallway? No, down the street. Excuse me, no, did you not hear that I promised Jesus, God, Holy Spirit? Okay, why do you keep asking me things that don't make sense? Don't you know me? I'm Maria. I don't know who you're talking about. Dragging who down the stairs? I mean, wait, a 4-year-old. Yes. But that was a different story. She threatened me. That was another story. That's the only time I ever dragged anybody down the hallway. Other than that, there is one thing in my little basket. Oh, look, a skeleton in case. That's a good skeleton in the closet. Yes, I got you. Don't worry. And here I did ask. I said, God, please forgive me for being a moron. And please forgive me for being a moron. I said the name in my brain. Maybe she'll find me. So that's the only moronic thing I ever did. The other moronic thing, it's okay. It's a plaque of shame. It happens when you're desperate. And that's how it works when you're enough of a grown-up and you have a good background, because I got lucky in this lifetime. I'm not in a home that I need to be afraid of. You see what I'm saying? I'm not joking right now. So while people want to continue dehumanizing human beings and talking about demons and devils, I'm thinking, no, our brothers and sisters, they're all good, either healthy fear or unhealthy. So if you can commit in life, you commit. Means it's not about pro-choice, pro-life, politics, religion. This is why equanimity is the ruler of all of those who are leaders. If you're not, then you don't use equanimity. You're going to be somebody who says light and lightning. And that's not a lover. That's Tom and Jerry. Hey, cat and mouse, how you doing? Did you hit rock bottom yet? Because I'm pretty sure there's some rocks somewhere to hit so that you can become the one who says you rose from the ashes. You can pat each other in the back and tell us how hard your life was. Until, whatever it is that happened, and that's what made you strong. Your armor makes you strong. Your armor makes you weak. In fact, there's a man who's got armor, and he said these words: if they look away, your confidence will be eroded. Eroded. Wow. All I have to do is look away, and you will do what for me? Does that mean you'll flip backwards and forwards? Like, what are we talking? Are you going to be in one of those, you let me do the fraternity thing, lock you in a room and make you do yucky shit? That's exactly why when I think of grown human beings using words like this, I'm like, what the heck? Did they not learn from their colleagues? they're telling them the way to their selves. Oh, that's right. Stephen Porges mentions mobilization defense. They start a story in their head, and I've seen it. I'm really doing great, Maria. I'm doing awesome. After everything you said, I didn't even mention this guy. Like, he just did it all by himself. That's what shame binding is, by the way. So you can't expect lack of self-aware people to be self-aware. And you don't talk sense to anyone, like Bezel van der Kolk points out. So, life and love, their commitment. That's why I don't turn my back on you. Okay, teenage boyfriend, second time. Well, by the third time, I said, okay. It was with my BFFF. By the second, I just knew intuitively that it was going to happen at some point for some reason. Maybe I brought it upon myself. Anybody think about that? I don't know. No, I don't think it that way. But anyways, long story short, I would say that mentally and emotionally intelligent people aren't keeping track of certain things. They know how emotions work. I like to tease, and what I'm trying to get to help you understand is mystic, spiritual, or mindful people don't treat love like a game because they don't treat life like a game. That's what mindful living is. Everybody has a different way they become emotionally deep with themselves, but if you do become yourself, then you're going to have emotions, and not like a Zen master who has laundry because he doesn't know how to sit with his tears and just leave it alone. Cry it out, hang out with smart, great people, whatever it is that is your, no drugs, no fucking, no, none of it's not the fucking thing. It's that you want to have good activities. That's the mindful mindset stuff. You want to have those things that thrill you, that are healthy. And if you are a person who does love, then you love life, and it means you love yourself, which means you're going to know you want to live longer. And you can do it. Dr. Daniel Siegel, he is the most amazing, he's one of my heroes. He's become one of my heroes. They talked about him because thanks to him, and actually, you know, it's thanks to his partner, because he was going to leave school, his wife, partner, I forget how he calls, but the point is, he tells his story in one of my classes, and he tells why he was going to leave school. It's because what he does, he's like, they're not teaching us about the brain, the mind, something like that. I don't remember it word for word. All I know is he was going to give it up, and his wife, partner, says, why don't you stick it through, make it, and make a difference? The man has gotten chased down the hallways. I love you, Dr. Dan. I hope it's okay. I'm sharing your stories. He has gotten chased down the hallways, which makes me laugh. I'm like, man, that's why I didn't stick around with academia. Because he has a hand model. They said, what are you doing with the hand? That's not how the brain is. That's how we can, we're imbeciles. I'm an imbecile. This helped me, and it helps you. Look. Can we be imbeciles with the brain just because? So, while the ones who want to stay all eloquent and make it inaccessible for us to understand them, what are you doing? Did you just dress up like Freud by any chance? Are you trying to be him? I don't do the archetypes that way. In fact, actually, I think people like to dress up as the archetypes. Am I mother? No. I am my own mother. Yeah, I'm my own feminine. Am I father? No, but I am my own masculine. You better bet. Am I a star baby? Yeah, with the crack. Nope, no cracks. But hey, even if I have a crack, it's because I bumped my head. But look at me, eternal child, playing on a screen with all of you. I don't have orphaned parts. Guess what happens to those who do? They die like Dorian Gray inside, and it's a sad story because they can rise from the ashes with a good therapist and then, a mentor. But they need the therapist first. You don't do anything with a mentor if you want to lament your sorrows like a dramatic poet who doesn't have anything better to do with your life. And here are those who don't know how to be that which is an empowered feminine, the maiden. So once you become empowered feminine, I didn't read the maiden, but it's a vulnerable one. And that's where I'm going to say those who feel helpless as women or men or they do it in a different frequency. And what happens is that they become vindictive. And that's not a good energy. It's actually not even a pleasing or a pleasant one to be around, but more than anything, they get into this level of, so the distorted feminine is of a specific frequency, the mature one, like is the distorted masculine immature one, and they're both different calibers. So when someone is a 4D thinking they're needed to save these masculine feminine energies, they're not needed, because not one of us is needed. We have educators who are smart and brilliantly sharing all over YouTube. So when people want to do the right thing, it's not about the right way, it's the right thing for you, humanity. It's very clear when somebody knows what life is and love. humanly speaking. I bring the human elements, but without any of it, you don't do the spiritual stuff. It sounds like philosophy to those who don't know spiritual lingo. I know all of the spiritual lingo because I am spiritual. That's why I'm pseudoscience woo lady. So the human stuff, though, I'm human. And the human, you're unlimited, you're infinite. And that's with your own heart and your own gut. But it's only if it's a good gut. If you got a bad gut, what I get from distorted feminines is basically that they did everything for everyone and that they deserve, they have a right. And then they become pushy in the way of the martyr. And then they become very much a person who, it's not funny energy actually, so I'm not going to go dive into it. But that's why we have what we have with men and women, by the way, and they still exist out there due to the bad examples of the human beings who didn't go get healed. However, because there's a bounty full of ignorance out there, we don't even have all good professionals yet. As long as we have professionals saying, my colleagues are all against me, look, the narcissists are unhealable, we're going to have a group of the sciences with those who say, yeah, look, the narcissists aren't healable, we're empaths, look, we're a good team, they're a bad team. As long as you have ignorance, that's ignorance. I'm ignorant of math. What's 1 kilometer? I don't know. What is it in a mile? I have no idea. I cannot feel depth to the bejesus of me. I'm stupid. Give it a rest. We all can be stupid, but when you're refusing to accept and welcome that all humanity has a reason for being, to me, you're completely ignorant. It's not about the suffering. It's not about the hatred. It's not even about the anger or the spite. You're being a buffoon with a lack of brilliant mind who uses all of that, which is social media, interest media, to perpetuate your own cherishable beliefs. So go ahead and follow your leaders, Cusco, as they're bountiful of silverbacks who are ignorant. Meantime, they're not actually the smart ones. FYI, those who are not committed or cherish life aren't smart. They just have a following. You see, the crowd, hey, Pinocchio, Peter Pan, what's up? Following the leader. We all following. And then guess what they do? Diego's family, come on in. That's what adapted child part people, which is why the distorted feminine and masculine are unimpressive. They're also unappealing, and they also look like Pinocchio on that island as they get older, and they don't look any better. So the ones who will stay, in the very, very low frequency. Yeah, well, I don't even know how to say it because it's sad. The ones who will be around 40, they're going to have a lot better probably time. And it's just sad for me to think about these people who could all be helped. But that is the part of where you rise up by taking care of yourself, the first step. Because get up. Okay, it's last time. I can't keep picking you up, nervous system. So when people are not supporting the bright sides of neuroplasticity, but the dark sides of neuroplasticity, this is the part of where it's very clear because they all have low self-esteem and direct communication, passive-aggressive. They don't know love. They know Tom and Jerry and cat and mouse, and they do this, and then they have the top and the bottom of the unhealthy boundary stuff that Terry Real talks about. So when it's a distorted feminine who's acting like Cusco's squirrel, that's not love. When it's a wallowing in the sorrow kind of deal with Cusco in the middle of the story where he just fucks everything up again. So you have different types of unhealthy boundary people. And when you see the ones who think they can teach you how to spot people and watch the back, those are just teenagers who now have fancy places to use their words and basically tell you how to handle that which hurt their feelings when they were a kid. I didn't get my feelings hurt. I just had my heart sad, and I said, I'm not playing with any of you. You're all mean, but I'm not going to close my heart because why would I be a coward like all of you are? That would make me a coward too. I'm not going to be a coward. I can be brave. I mean, really, it's only about me standing up for my name, and I'm going to pick my herd, which is why the teenage boyfriend, I picked him and he picked me, and that's how it works in love. And then when he did mistakes, we all make mistakes. This is the part. So what, I throw you in the trash can? Is that how this works? And then as you get older, it's not that because you have breakups. Securely attached and untraumatized people, excuse me, I need to make sure you understand this, because again, the ones who don't understand it, they're like, you're just faking it. No, I'm not faking it. I don't have drama with my twin flames. You think we're getting what? Tested? Come again? By who? A moron? Who you think tests who? Because I don't see a test. I'm not in school right now. Are you in school? I'm not in school. Because that's the minute that, in fact, here's why the man who talks about if you look away, this other thing he said once, and it was secure attached people. It's not like they're emotionally elite. If you don't text them back, watch as they think. I mean, I might think, what's fun about being a feminine, empowered, and that I have 3 twin flames and then I have a bunch of soulmates. I got to practice that which is called the charges, expansion, and also being a complete honest human being in ways that I got to learn how to completely continue to be an honest human being. And I'm sad to inform you that there's no drama because when you get biologically rude people, they don't care about you. They have no space for you. It's not their fault. They don't own their child parts and they're not their full-blown human being. They remained, no, this is where it gets really uninteresting. It's not even funny. There's a complete disconnect and then you find out and you're like, how does this happen? And then you get all attachment trauma informed and you say, okay, now I know what to look for when I'm in the presence of a stagnating piece of energy. It is a human being who's decided that they know everything. They're not growing intellectually. Emotionally, they're not fun at all because their child is nowhere to be found. They think that the world is a sucky human being. Okay, yeah, that's so. Life is cherishable by those of us who cherish it. Commitment is to our lovely human species. Science, spirituality come together. They unlock the best thing for you, your authentic self. So, being yourself, we're going to have plenty of fun stories because there's plenty of cards I want to come through, but I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow because the lighting isn't allowing me to reveal them to you. So, empowered people, we treat love like life. It's a commitment and cherished, and there's nowhere in hell that you'll look to the past and be like, oh my God, I made such horrible mistakes. No, it's more of at a certain point in Maria's journey, I was like, okay, God, and okay, Jesus, I know you're going to let me in on a fun fact at some point. And as I did begin to find out, I was like, wow, I left myself little petals along the way. That's so amazing. And now I have even more information. So it's really fun to be a feminine, empowered. And I'm sure the empowered masculine can say the same. I have my own masculine, but I don't talk for masculines because they have a different journey. The empowered masculine, they don't test the feminine, not the empowered ones. They speak to us. Oh, the ones who are buffoons is a different story. Like the feminines who are buffoons. Get out of my fucking sphere. They're not mean. Stop being mean to my brothers and sisters. Apparently you don't think they're yours, so get away. Shoo shoo. Go, low frequency human being who has insecurities, because that's not nice. Though what's sad is that these people, they're like Ursula from the cauldron. Poor unfortunate souls. So they're doing their magic tricks, which aren't magic tricks. And in the meantime, they're not noticing that they could be their own version. They don't have to take stuff from Ariel. They don't have to pretend to be Ariel. They could be with a Pat Ogden. And this is the part when you see people getting excited about healing, that's what I love to see. And when I see the therapists, how they explain that they get them out of hell, that's what I like to see. And when I see them saying it's not fast, we don't do fast. Whatever you do at your pace. That's what I like to see. As that's a self-aware, accountable, regulating person. They're committed, they're cherishing, and they cared about their society. Or they hit rock bottom and then they figured it out. And really, I mean, I'm not impressed by the hitting rock bottom, but I can't be, what is it called? The person who says it's right or wrong, because it's not. But when someone, the psychopath who told me she did it because she noticed she wasn't creating long-term relationships. So she's like, how am I going to build friendship and an actual loving relationship, a partnership? She noticed herself, and I always do dangerous things. This is not, she said, I felt different. They all know it. So as long as they're ignoring going to get themselves help, that means that they don't want to be a part of the human herd, because there's reasons, but isolation means that you haven't healed. And it means that you're hiding, so you don't learn the art of connection, because you don't learn the art of connecting to yourself, because that's how scary your body is to you, not to me, not you. But this is why, be sad for your brothers and sisters who have hell in their body, and then be happy that they got some people who are their masters, who don't feel shit anymore, because that's how they armored themselves in, and they're the only people that those people can look at, so that they can live until tomorrow and whenever. And I'm not even like, this isn't funny to me. I do find out always answers, but again, it's not something that you think always everyone can access healthy fear and love. No, they have to want it. You can't make someone commit to love and life. In fact, my facade friend, as always, that asshole, Oh, I'll never forget. He's like, Maria, it seems to me like you think you're right all the time. And this was a specific thing, but I'm changing it up. I said, because I am right. I know the choice of love, not because I'm right of this other stuff that you're trying to say. And masculines, when they're not empowered, like distorted feminines, don't like when you present to them what is balance, the justice, and truth. As again, shame flicks up some attachment wound. It's not because I'm right, it's because I know what the choice of love is. It's to be brave. Because to be brave means that you're able to harness and tangle with those that are different from you and have fun with it. So the choice of love is easy for those who are easily differentiated selves, authentic, not looking for paths. The ones who have some chip on their shoulder and are insecure and Vista, whatever it is, don't matter. They will always come out. Jacqueline Hyde, how you doing? Today you're great, tomorrow you're not. Once you see one Jacqueline Hyde, pretty much thanks to my facade friend, I actually don't do anything. But I have funny stories for you. And so, yeah, empowered people, it's not like because somebody has some bad manners, quote unquote, you're going to be like, oh my God, now I can't be around them. No, it's not that at all. The disconnect that Patrick Tian mentions, I understand it. Because if somebody doesn't work with their child parts, they don't become their grown up version with all of that, they're always going to have a Jacqueline Hyde. Because it's going to be today a pebble is in your shoe and you don't handle it with compassion because you don't know how to handle yourself with it. So you're going to bring your not compassionate, the body in this defense mode. Fight, flight, fix, save, adapt. The child part people, they're always the same. And that's when they move into grandiosity, thinking they know everything and treating others as if they're smaller than they are because that's the moment of insecurity. So it's called belittling, but again, nobody feels belittled when you know who you are because I don't have any doubt of who I am. I mean, I am 4'9" after all, so, but what I'm saying is your confidence isn't eroded because someone doesn't text you back or because of whatever you've cried or whatever it is. It doesn't make you ashamed to be vulnerable. And the other part, I smile because what makes me sad is the people who live with shame, it keeps eating away at them. That's why Dorian Gray, I have people in my life that they continue to ignore. And we actually have had a number of beautiful conversations. I told them at one point in one of them, I said, look, revenge isn't sweet. It's poisonous for you. No, Maria, you don't know. No, I know. I got what you're saying and I understand it. I'm telling you it's not good for you, but I will love you just the way you are. It wasn't towards me, but that's the part of where you can't force or make somebody understand what's happening again. So it's not funny to me to see those who want to talk about people with the labels because while they say this is how we're organizing it, they're humans. You can say they're emotionally immature. You can talk about it with a lot of different words. You don't need to give them a energy vampire, dark aura, or like the dark night of soul, ego death, like all these words, they actually objectify an experience, which is why then people don't empower themselves because they're distancing themselves and they're creating some kind of story. You're not a story if you're mindfully living your life, of course. If on the other hand, you're living fantasia, so you're emotionally unavailable to yourself, that means you're a person who doesn't have all your emotional body online yet. And so feeling deeply is scary or hurtful or something. So you see? Okay, so that's why empowered and enlightening people aren't afraid to feel. The only ones who distance themselves. So for people, when they see me smiling in equanimity, they think it's all fake because, again, they don't know the eustressed version of themselves yet. It's only once they get practiced in. When I do this, it's the integrated brain, left and right. But sometimes I'll eat my words and say things wrong. Prefrontal cortex, we got one of it. And we got frontal lobes. And that's where it's all integrated. So when you have this, that's a non-integrated brain. That's your 4D, 3D brothers and sisters. Say hello. Some man playing Russian roulette is a moron because he's actually active only in his gut. And that's why our guts tell us a good radar. Like the amygdala, we have an episode on that one. So in the meantime, we treat love like life, commitment, and that's cherishable. And so we all bring forth the best that we will bring forth from each other. You accept, respect, love all equally, and you don't dehumanize, demonize, or do anything. When people have maladaptive patterns of behavior, it's their life, not yours. And like Dr. Daniel Fox presents, they will fall back. And then you get to help them get back up. And that's where if they want to get out of hell, they do. If they don't, though, you can't do anything. And characterological distinctions, meaning you trying to shame someone, that's not nice. So you are going to be a person who can be a functional child adult when you're going to be back at IHP. That's empowered people. Those are people who love and live life. That's who says I know commitment. That's who says I cherish. That's why, again, it's the people who are able to grow more compassionate towards humanity, not less. The ones who are divisive and create groups of good and bad people. I mean, we all taught children. I mean, I knew the good and bad for grown-ups is not talked about that way unless they are the ignorant ones who want to just box things up in two groups according to what they like and don't like and say, this is the good stuff, this is the bad stuff. Oh, so I love to be here, and I will be back with more. In the meantime, thanks for stopping by. Have a great one.